don't get me wrong, Deej is a great guy. I like him and everything, but when we record an entire episode, then he informs me that he didn't turn his mic on.
Hey, you get better the second time. Sometimes the third time's even better.
If you see me doing this, you know it's my third or fourth time. Either he's out of focus or his mic was turned off. But anyways. This is the part of building wall that is very important, but none of us really like to do it. It's leveling the block. Once we have them set in, we're gonna go along and we're gonna check them first front to back, make sure they're level front to back. This one already leveled. That's the way it should look. It's perfect. So with those tabs that we knocked off, it seems like if you let the tab on, they're always too high in the back. If you knock the tab off, they're always too low in the back. Almost all of these blocks, the back needs to come up just a little bit. I already did that one. Yep, same story. Need to bring up the back a little bit. I could just let the tab on, but then I'd need to beat it down. Maybe that would be easier. I lift up the back of the block, scoot in a little bit of that setting bed, tap it level, and we're good to go. Same story. They really should just make a block with a flat bottom on for your first course. Now, 4-foot level out, or 6-foot, or an 8-foot. Plop it on here. Level, does it rock anywhere? This can be a bit tricky. You want to look at your level down here. You want to make sure you don't rock anywhere. And I often will tilt the level front so that I can see any gaps underneath there. I'm gonna slide back here a little bit further. This is the tricky part. Here's the two things I look at. I look at my level, that's good. And then I'll tilt it front and I can see that I'm touching here and here, but there's a airspace underneath here where my level isn't touching. So that'll tell me that this block is just a little bit too low. I'm gonna bring it up. This one is fine, this one is fine. It's spanning across here, it's level, but this one isn't touching my level. There's about a 1/4 inch of a gap in between there. I don't know if you can see that with the camera. See that? So I'm gonna take off my level, I'm gonna flip this block front, and I'm gonna bring it up just a little bit. What probably happened here is this was a block I set down and it wasn't quite in the right place, so I kicked it around, and when I did that, it'll dig down into the setting bed and make it a little lower. Let's fix that. Bring it up, sprinkle a little bit of setting bed material underneath there. I know it's level front to back. Now it's likely gonna be too high, but that's okay, I can hit it down. Set it back down. Check it once again, front to back. A little bit high in the front. Good. Now, it's level. My level doesn't rock, and we're good to go. So yeah, that's the time-consuming part. Take your time, do this right, because your entire wall is going to be built off of this course. Now I'll let Deej level the rest of it, and I'll go do something fun.
Yeah, paperwork, foreman stuff.
Something important. I don't know. Maybe check my lunchbox or...
We already did that. It's probably empty already.
Time for another run to the lunchbox though. Hey Deej, is the mic turned on?
Double check, yes, red light blinking.
Mic check, mic check?
Mic check.
Okay. Wow. Look at the wall we built today. Or I mean, steps we built today. Today was a little bit like packing some base, screed a setting bed, lay 5 blocks, repeat process. But we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps today, and tomorrow it's gonna go in pretty quickly because that's a lot of the time consuming stuff. We should be able to just pop. We are gonna be putting GeoGrid in every 2 courses in the wall. I'll talk about that tomorrow, We got a triaxle load of 20 ton?
23.
23 ton of 2B clean stone coming tomorrow. That's what we use to backfill, to provide drainage, and I'll talk about that tomorrow when we're putting it in. We do put a 4-inch perf pipe behind here. There's a cute little wall drain so that we don't have water building up behind the wall. It's also, you don't put dirt up against the back of the wall because we live in a cold climate, so the freeze and thaw will push out that wall. So that's why we get at least 12 inches, I think.
Roughly, yeah.
Yeah, at least 12 inches of 2B clean stone behind the wall. Oftentimes we do more. See you guys in the morning.
Peace out.
Yeah, see you in the morning. Okay, so this morning we're going to talk about GeoGrid. Some walls, it's spec that you have to use it, and some walls, depending on the height, you don't need to use it. We just use it. It's flat out a good idea. And this is the wall that we tore down right here, and this is GeoGrid. And you can see what it does. It ties that whole bank in place. When we tore this wall away, and instead of all of this bank coming crashing down on the road, we lost about 2 feet of clean stone, and then it locks it in and holds the whole bank in place. And you could let this wall here and it wouldn't erode very much. And DJ knows, because he was trying to scoop the stone out, what a pain in the neck this GeoGrid is. It just holds that, it locks that whole bank in place. And that way it gives structure to your wall system. It's an age-old idea. Actually, the Egyptians used it. They used woven papyrus plant in their wall structures. So it's something that's been around for a long time. And the reason they used it is because it worked. I'll show you today how we put it in our walls. You can see here what it does. It just holds that bank in place and locks it. It's the same concept with railroad ties. You know, if you do a railroad tie wall, you'll run timbers back into the bank. And the higher your wall is, the farther back it needs to go. If you have a 4-foot wall, you're going to be bringing GeoGrid back 4 feet. If you have an 8-foot wall, you're going to be bringing it back 8 feet. So at the start of the wall, these courses right here, I'm bringing it back 4 feet. As we go higher, once I reach 6 feet, I'm gonna start bringing back my GeoGrid 6 feet. And once I reach the top, you know, I might be going back 8 feet. So here's what we do. We put it in every 2 courses. So I got 2 courses in right here, and my wall isn't quite 4 foot high yet, but that's what I'm doing. I'm bringing it back 4 foot. You need to get it in flat, nice and flat. So I've filled some 2B clean stone in the back. Oh, by the way, before you start filling your clean stone, you can look up behind, the whole way behind the wall here, we have a 4-inch corrugated perf pipe. And that's gonna be our drainage for this whole wall structure. Any water that's behind there, instead of sitting behind the wall and freezing and pushing the wall out, it's gonna go through our clean stone. That's why we use a clean stone in the back, because it drains water. You don't wanna use something that holds moisture like 2A with fines in it. You need to use a clean stone to backfill behind your wall. And we bring it all the way down here, and I cut a neat little wall drain in here. Barely see it. There's not huge amounts of water that comes out, but there again, the whole idea is to keep water from sitting behind your wall system. So get that in first, go back however far you need to, depending on the height of your wall. Roll out your GeoGrid, make sure your block's nice and clean. We just roll it out here as we go and plop our block on top. Once I have 2 courses, I'm gonna go a little bit farther back and do it again. Now, when I come to backfill here, I don't need to bring clean stone back 4 feet. I'll probably bring dirt in to about something like this. Give myself a nice 2 feet, maybe even less, a foot of clean stone in the back. And I can bring dirt over the top here. Then I'll make a nice flat area in the next 2 courses, and we'll put it down again. So right now, get ready to lay block. After 2 courses, be doing more GeoGrid. Cut to the time lapse. Okay folks, we got DJ over here smacking in the block. He's making good progress. We got Andrew, the man, putting out the GeoGrid. Oh my, look at that good work. Let's see what DJ can tell us about putting in block. What are some things you do when you lay block to make your life easy, prevent problems farther down the road?
First thing, have one of these masonry brooms. They work wonders.
Yeah,
First thing I do is clean off my block, make sure there's no stones no dry dirt, everything nice and clean, so your block sets in nice and level.
That's right, because once you get a rock in there, that thing starts rocking. That's a problem down the road.
And when you geogrid, make sure it's laying nice and flat, isn't front too far so it's exposed after you put your block in.
Because these block, as you can see, set back, and if you get that geogrid front too far, you'll have a black seam the whole way. Cleaning his block off.
Now,
there.
normally I don't have to do this, but being we're reusing old block, I do tend to clean the bottom off anyways.
Dirt is your enemy.
Now, when setting the block, what I like to do is set it back farther than you need to, pull it front, and lock it in.
There you go. See, he slid that thing front until it hit that lip on the back. That's what creates your offset. And these blocks you don't need to glue. Something like the EP Henry cast wall block you do. Now, does it rock?
It doesn't rock, but beings we're setting on geogrid and we got gravel or clean stone behind it, I do like to smack it. Just to make sure it's locked in.
Nothing there.
Nice and solid.
And if it rocks, what do you do?
Then we get the grinder.
Find out, make
then
sure
the
you're
fun
not sitting on
starts.
something, or you get the grinder, find the high point, and you grind it off. Thanks, Deej. Good work.
Pleasure.
Wall's looking great. Well, I better get to work.